Good morning.
How are you guys today?
Good.
Doing really well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It must be fairly exciting, I would say.
The premiere's tonight. Yeah, we're stoked.
TIFF is always a fantastic beast for so many different types of films that come through, and I'd say yours is very special in the sense that it's not a particular genre, I wouldn't say. I mean, it defies a lot of conventions, which is lovely. How did you reach the point that you got to make this film and that you had such a great cast?
Well, I came up with a crazy idea about space and love back when I was 20, which was a short 3 years ago. And I wrote it into a kind of a short story, and I had networked a few years ago, and I had a business card for a producer named Ari Lantos, and I knocked on his door. I said, "Hey, I have an idea," and he liked it, and we were very much on the same page. And from there, a great friendship formed, and we got the film funded, and I put together a dream cast list for the characters, and he was at the top of it, and so. And our producer actually went to high school with him, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then from there, we sent it to him, and Patrick can pick it up from there.
Yeah. I was doing a play at the time that I wasn't particularly happy doing, and I was wondering what I was going to do next. And the script arrived. I was a little tentative at first because I knew that Akash was so young, and typically that made you a little suspect of how it was going to go. But I saw the other work that he had done, specifically the trailer that he had cut for a film that he had made in high school, towards the end of high school with his friends on no money at all.
None.
And there was a technical excellence to it that I could tell he knew exactly what he was doing with editing, and some of the special effects were incredible, and he was the one doing all of those. But more importantly, there was the human element of it, the heart of what he had cut together. You could tell that he knew what he wanted, and so I was excited to lend my services to that and sort of entrust it to him. So we had great conversations, and I realized that he was wise beyond his years, and that he was really excited to dive in. And I thought, what a great thing to do. I've been working on suits for so long, and felt so blessed to be doing that, but I felt like it was a machine that was now moving, and I wasn't even really all that necessary to it anymore. And here was a thing where I felt like I could come in and be really useful and help bring this thing to wherever it needed to go.
That's amazing. In terms of the character, I had seen you write something that said, or you say something that said that the film was about connections.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the film, Isaac is very much almost without connection.
Disconnected.
Yeah, completely
Yeah.
disconnected. And when you're coming into a role like that, how do you prepare to play someone that's at almost separated from the world?
A couple of answers. I mean, initially in the script, he was less disconnected, I think, right?
Yeah.
And we worked on that. I think he was a little bit more, originally he was a little bit more still and sort of impassioned and excited and enthusiastic about this. And Akash and I had a lot of discussions. I was like, I'd love to find this guy more down and out, like more bottom of the barrel, more like really hitting the bottom. And I might have been so insistent on that because I myself was sort of there, honestly. First of all, I just felt story-wise that would give us somewhere to go. But second of all, I was heading into what was going to end up being my last season of Suits. I was finding myself really sort of cynical and bitter about the business and about the craft, and unsure of what I was going to do and unsure of what I was capable of doing. And so I felt like if I was going to bring something to it, I would just bring that and let that be my starting point. And it was scary because you do a television for so long, you're used to sort of wanting to appear bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and always sort of attractive and excited, and that's kind of what TV asks of you a lot of the time, especially Suits. And this was something where I said, let's make this guy in a brutal place. Let's really find him sort of in the depths of a post-traumatic stress, essentially. And it really, ultimately it was fun. It gave me a place to put that energy rather than just dealing with it on my own.
Can you both talk about finding Clara? Because obviously such an important role to fill, and also, I guess, working like as a team. Mm-hmm. How did that all come together?
Well, finding Clara was the next piece of the puzzle after we found Patrick. And I won't lie, it took a while. And because of Patrick's schedule, we actually had to push the film to later that year. And Troian, Bellisario, had already given us notes through Patrick on the script, and the notes were amazing. And her notes on Clara, I just knew that she had already Like, she has such a great creative soul herself, and so she just seemed like the right fit for us. And she had just finished Pretty Little Liars, so yeah, we were so excited that she joined the team because I couldn't imagine making this film without her.
What was it like working with Troian to build this relationship?
Well, seeing as we're married in real life, it was excellent. We had a really good place to start, and we had been talking about the story for so long, and so we both sort of knew it inside and out, and we knew the parts that scared us and the parts that frustrated us, and we could bring those to Akash, and we could all talk about it, and so really we got to just build the thing from the inside out, and when you're married to your scene partner, there's just an immediate accessibility and an immediate ability to pivot, and like in the middle of the take go, I need to try something totally different, or I think we need to rethink this right now, and everybody's ready to go. Whereas opposed to on another set, you do that, you might be affecting what someone else came to do, and if you don't know each other, maybe you're stepping on toes, and all of a sudden you're uncomfortable, and then all of a sudden you're not getting the scene to where it goes. The three of us were, thick as thieves. It was just like, let's go. What do you want to do? I got my I just want to make sure I get this. There was just no ego about it, and it wasn't ever uncomfortable or strange. It was so familiar.
Yeah.
Is it hard though to play people who are separated at the beginning and come together later on?
No, for us it's fun. We're actors. We love being actors. We love playing pretend, and so for us it's fun. We get to like not be ourselves for a day. We get to be these other people and meet each other for the first time, and fall for each other for the first time, and get to know each other for the first time through the eyes of these characters, which as a couple has been together now for 10 years. That's great. That's fun. You get to take that trip together.
Well, in terms of, I said at the beginning that I don't necessarily see it as a particular genre, but how did you see it? Your baby, what's it for you?
Well, I see it as primarily a human drama with a lot of scientific elements and a lot of real scientific elements. So I guess you would call it a sci-fi drama, but my main focus was the kind of human story, but it was definitely a goal of mine to have a backdrop of very, very real and relevant science that when people watch this film, they actually get a sense of what's going on in the world in terms of astronomy and how close we are to actually finding something.
Right. Well, especially I love that you talk so much about the new telescopes.
Yeah.
Which, for a film like this is pretty rare to be based that much in science.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know you went through a lot of research and work on that. Did you feel you learned a lot?
Well, yeah. Well, with every script I write, I hope that I can have a learning experience through that. And for this one, it was astronomy. And I did a bunch of research before I wrote the script, and I had included the TESS and James Webb Telescope in the script, the TESS has just launched a few months ago. The James Webb's coming in 2020 or 2021, and and then I wanted to take it a step further, obviously, because I don't really have a scientific background, and we got science advisors in the mix, and they really tweaked everything. So
that's cool.
And then for me, I thought my job was to come in with Akash, not that he hadn't already done a big portion of this job, but was to go take all the stuff that's in here, which is monumental, and find the most dramatic way and the most compelling way to use these characters and their struggle to help explain that and have it tie in. That was what we were always working towards, trying to find a way to weave this stuff in to what these characters want, the human story, as you said, what they want, what they're looking for, what they're struggling with, and how the science can help tell that story, rather than it just be, that's science, here's conflict, and they're kind of existing at the same time. It's like, how are these modalities and these forms of discovery and these ways that they, how do they pull at these characters' strengths?
Yeah, that's cool. Well, last thing I want to know is for both of you, what comes next? Because on your side, I know this is early, the film is just to a TIFF, but you must be thinking about what comes next to some degree.
Yeah, I've written 2 more scripts.
You have already?
Yeah, and one of them I'm really excited about. It's a very important story that I feel needs to be told. Clara is about finding habitable planets. This next one is about our planet and that we need to protect it. So
amazing. And do you want to direct as well again?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. And Patrick, what about you? What comes next?
At the moment, I'm not sure. I'm reading stuff. I'm looking at everything that comes my way and trying to figure out what the next step is.
Cool. Well, thank you both very much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.